Hey everybody, welcome to Everyday Journey. Today we're going to try to fix this thing. This is a treadmill here in the back. I actually just picked it up from somebody, one of those Craigslist finds. This one was actually 20 bucks, so I couldn't get it for free. But I got this idea from a guy. He has a channel, Jeremy Fielding. This is all giving him credit because he's the one who gave me this idea. What he does is he goes around and he takes things apart. He is very knowledgeable about electronics somewhat, and more so about electric motors. And he's actually taken several treadmills apart and other things, of course, and taken the motors out of them and repurposed them for other things. This one right here doesn't work. Didn't pay much. I figure I'll be able to get plenty of usable parts out of it, including the motor. And why I say that is because I can actually turn the belt. It seems to spin fairly easily. One of the problems I do have, if you can see it in the background here, is I've got power on it right now and there's nothing on. I mean, there's a backlight, but besides that there's nothing on the LCD. I don't know exactly what's going on with it. Looking at it, well, let me zoom in a little bit for you. Alright, so looking at this, you can see that it's got watermarks and dirt on it. This guy said that turns it on, it would hum, but it wouldn't actually turn. I'm not even seeing that. Right now I can't get the buttons to function at all. The whole thing looks like it's got, honestly, the picture that I saw had this in the back of a truck. And I'm sure he probably left it in the back of that truck for a while. Alright, when you look down here at the belt, of course this has got rain on it because it's raining today. But you can see down here that there's actually surface rust on the drive pulley. Which leads me to believe this has been in the weather a little bit. Maybe not a lot, but enough to cause some issues with it. And I think that's mainly what we're looking at here. So in most cases, water and electronics don't mix. Most likely what's gone on with this is that this whole panel got wet. Most likely has some corrosion or something in there on the panel, on the circuitry and stuff. But I don't know yet. What we need to do now is actually unplug it, get in there, take this part apart, see if we can't see anything here that might be the issue. But I'm going to start right here because I think this might be part of our problem. Because it's got this little device right here which you connect to yourself as you're running, and if it gets away from you and you pull back, it'll release that and sense that you're not there anymore and therefore not work. Plus there's other safety features, or there's other features where if you don't get it programmed right, you can't get it to run right. So that may be the case too. Who knows? But I suspect this might be where our problem is. So I'm going to start here. Alright, so it looks like it's just a bunch of Phillips screws. So I'm going to go ahead and take those out and I'll get right back to you. Alright, so there were a whole bunch of screws in the back. I also took off these side guards. They only had like 3 screws in them. I'm just afraid they might be in the way of this as we pulled it up. So we'll get rid of our little clip real quick. Put it to the side. Go ahead and pull this panel off. Starting with this center part, which may be all we have to pull off, I don't know. Okay, so this one here was putting up a fight, but I got it loose. Now I could have just cut it if I really was trying to scrap this thing. That really wasn't my intention, so we'll check this over here at the workbench real quick. Alright, for those who are wondering, or even care, I'm actually using my Harbor Freight screwdrivers that people were going crazy about, saying that these things are horrible, in my 301 piece toolkit that I actually made a review about. You can check that out if you want. But these things are working pretty good. I'm not going to complain about them. So looking at this, we've got tons of moisture in this thing. Right offhand, I mean, just go through real quick and look. to see if I see any black marks, burnt marks. Offhand, I'm not seeing anything. So there's a chance that this may be just a moisture inside here that's kind of shortened things out a little bit, and once it's dried out, might actually solve our problem somewhat. So to help it dry out, we're going to start taking things apart a little. So get these boards out. That way we can actually get to both sides, get it all dried out well, and maybe put it back together and see what happens. Oh, there's a spider right there. Can you guys see that? There's a spider trying to crawl out of there. I was about to say though, it's crazy though, because I actually had a spider, most likely came out of this and was crawling in my truck. So that's one thing to be leery of if you're getting things from people. But I think I may have just kind of killed that spider. So nope, there it goes. Whoa. It doesn't look dangerous. Can you guys see it? There's my spider. And that one looks different than the one I found in my truck. When I found in my truck, actually, it looked like a black widow. Although I didn't see any of the banjo marks on it or anything, so I don't think it was. It was just a black spider, but that would be fun to have black widows in my truck. Alright guys, moment of truth. I just set this back down on here. It's not screwed in or anything else, but everything is cleaned up, at least this part anyway. As good as I'm going to do for testing purposes. We'll go ahead and plug it in and see if we can see if we got any changes. It's dried out and everything now, so who knows. Well, I hear a beep, and it looks like that's all we were getting there is a little short. Looks like all the buttons are working. Fan works. Let's see what happens when we start it. Alright, so we got nothing here. The incline is working. But for some reason we don't have, there must be something going on with the motor. Let's see if this works. Yeah, pull the magnet on it. It's got a reed switch there for safety. So, yeah. So at this point, it would be best to start taking apart the motor down there, or the motor area, and start checking that out. Again, I'm not even going to worry about screwing this down or anything yet, because I don't know if anything else down there works. We know we got one working motor to be able to raise and lower it, but the main motor may be dead. And again, that's what the guy said. He said he heard it buzzing, but it wouldn't actually move. I don't even hear it buzzing, so who knows. Alright, there you go. You can see it blinking there in the background. It powers up now. Everything seems to be good except for the actual motor. Those things are kind of hard to kill, so I'm hoping it's just something to do with the wiring down there, although you never know. We'll take it apart and check it out. I think that'll be the next video. Right now, what do I get out of this thing? I get a reed switch, I get a working motor, and that right there really isn't very, you could probably buy a new one. the incline motor. You can buy a new one for fairly cheap. So right now I'm kind of at a loss. I got a working little fan, but I'm really at a loss. Paid 20 bucks for this thing so far, and I may have actually lost some money on that deal. I do get some scrap steel if it turns out this thing can't be worked or can't be fixed, but who knows. So we'll take a look at that motor there in the next video, and hopefully we can get something going with that. If not, oh well, I just lost some money, but it's only 20 bucks. It's been a learning experience. Hopefully it's a learning experience for you guys as well, and if for that reason right there, it's worth the money. So anyway, you guys take care, and we'll see you next time.